global war on terror has cost far more than we could have possibly imagined it would in the days immediately following 9/11, with costs literally stretching into the trillions of dollars. But those numbers can be staggering even when you look at just one particular failed component of our global fight against extremism and terror. Let's look at how much America has paid to train foreign fighters to do our fighting for us. You're seeing there numbers that are put together, estimates by Vocative, and God, those numbers are simply staggering. Now, the farthest by far, or the highest by far, is Afghanistan at $65 billion. There, we are funding both their army, their police, local militias, working with established militias, organizing new combat troops to both stabilize the country, to fight the Taliban, and eventually Al-Qaeda as well. Similar situation in Iraq, $25 billion. When we move to North Africa, we're talking about Al-Qaeda in North Africa specifically, a much lower number, but still quite significant, higher than Syria, which received quite a bit of debate just last year. You're seeing $1 billion in Somalia alone, a number that I almost never hear actually mentioned, and that's to fund the African Union forces to fight Al-Shabaab, a group that is still doing quite well in that region. The $500 million in Syria, there we know from recent news reports it funded just a few individual fighters. Millions and millions of dollars per person. Jumping back up, Afghanistan, we know that Kunduz was recently taken by the Taliban. Now it has been since retaken, but we see that Afghanistan, those forces we've spent an astronomical amount of money for, are having a lot of trouble. Iraq just fell apart in the face of ISIS, and you see numbers like 500 million in Yemen as well. Similar problems there, with total almost reaching $100 billion just for the funding and training and arming of these foreign forces. Now, if you were to think for a little while, could you think of any other use we could have for those $100 billion? Any bitter political debates about the needs to cut various programs, that SNAP benefits cost too much, no money for education, the plans for lowering the cost of tuition for colleges, we just don't have the money. $100 billion just to train foreign forces, and we can see from the record it has gotten us almost nothing. Now, these forces that we've created and trained and armed are doing their best in extremely difficult situations, difficult in ways that I actually cannot imagine in the cases where it doesn't later turn out that they're actually our enemies, which is all too common. But after 10 years and $100 billion and almost nothing to show for it, is this a strategy that we should continue in the future? Not from where I'm sitting, and that's my final judgment.